area of opportunity, because normally you want to wait until the sortie lands and off of an aerial in order to attack. Yoshi doesn't necessarily need to do that. Maybe you can make your way through just by barging through the air.
True. Just jump in, and with that exceptional air drift that you have, we're already seeing it here. Setting up combos with that forward tilt
Did you
and
mean
trying
to say
to continue with
exceptional?
an air.
Be honest.
Huh?
Did you mean to say exceptional? Because I swear it sounded.
I
like
did.
it.
It wasn't my intention, but maybe it just slipped through. Maybe the pun's already out. It's only game 1. It's only stock 1.
Yeah, we barely even started. Our Trix is on one tonight, and oh my goodness!
Yeah, we're
Speaking of on
commentators.
one,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
as
he's
you
on
do.
him. He's on him like nothing with these up airs. Absolutely chasing Akakikusu down on this landing, and it's one of Hero's weaknesses if you had to think of the character. He's able to get back on stage with zoom and everything like that, but if you're above your opponent trying to get back down to the ground, not many good tools to help you with that. All your aerials are pretty slow. Yoshi can combat that, and the drift, you won't have enough speed on your drift to be able to outrun Yoshi. So if we can continue to put Akakikusu into the air or just pop him up, getting rid of that shield and then poking with the back air, exceptional way to take that first stock.
Still looking for it, and is Akakikusu. Gets him up to 91%, but again, maybe just a little bit tougher of an ask. It's a pretty heavy character, Yoshi, but also, I mean, one of the highest air speeds in the game, if not the highest. I'm going to have to corroborate that. Either way, 2 stocks apiece now. Akakikusu finally finding the mark and getting right back to work, able to stave off damage. And if nothing else, it's the morale boost, right? But goodness gracious, nothing beats the morale out of you quite like getting juggled with Yoshi's up air.
The man just went for like 50 different up airs all in a row. And I mean, he got 50% for it. He's not wrong. That is how Yoshi likes to play. Oh, continuing up that tech chase with the Nair, but not able to find the second one. Akakikusu kind of faltering, not finding the techs where he needs them. Now it's Fui's turn to try and get an edge guard, and do note that if he's using his double jump armor to go straight through the tornado, he doesn't have to worry about it like other characters would when they have to edge guard Hero.
And now we're seeing perhaps ran out of jumps, maybe just a little too aggressive, but that is one of those things that you have to worry about as Yoshi, is that jump is a incredible resource, but it needs to be managed. That second jump, having the armor, having the distance that it does, when you realize that you are out of jumps and you are below ledge, it is there's a pit in your stomach. I can attest to this personally, Artrix.
It's your recovery resource. Yoshi's up B. I mean, you do get a bit of vertigo, but your main recovery tool is that second jump, so you have to keep it in your pocket. Fui doing an exceptional job to do it under most circumstances. I think it was just the interaction there with the kaboom, the wind boxes, and everything made it a bit confusing. Nothing confusing about getting that second back air kill here. It's his stock taker of choice. Seen both ones fly with it so far, just building up the percent now until we can hit a third, perhaps.
Looking for it, going to the menu for a few options. Right now, Akakikusu on the offensive and still working through, but not able to, gotta give it to Fui, playing relatively well defensively, or at the very least to the point of slowing down the game. But you are seeing Akakikusu kind of getting comfortable on the menu, and this is not exactly where you want to be, because the more things that you have in control, the more variables that you're able to sort of mitigate, the better off you're going to be, especially if you're Fui, and when you're able to put on damage like that down air does, then that's all the better, isn't it?
You love to see the patience that Fui is showing right now, you know? We're not just going to be running in on Hero when he has all these buffs, all these strong moves. That up tilt almost breaking our shield as well would have been a terrible way to see this game end. Reflector has come up around Hero, but not going to see too much of it. Fui is definitely more of a physical Yoshi. When we think of Yoshidora, the man gets egg sliced like it's nothing. I don't feel like Fui's that kind of guy. Fui's the kind of guy to pop you up in the air and then down air you to your last stock, but not quite going to get it there. Akakikusu having the DI to survive. It's anyone's game at this point.
Still working through at the 120s, both of them, and 2.5 minutes to go. Makes you wonder, obviously this isn't going to time over, but who benefits from the games being slowed down the most?
I'd have to feel like it's Hero in this situation, just given the magic and the spacing tools that you are given, the more time that you have. If he had a buff there on that up throw, would have been good. And a thing I had to bring up from before when we were talking about Yoshi's air mobility. Who does have the better air mobility, Yoshi or Hiro with this Accelerato? It's how Akikutsu was able to take his first stock by chasing Fui down, finds that grab up throw, doesn't need the buff, 108% will be enough. Man's taking that first game and takes a massive breather.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder because that splash screen did not show up, and there are instances where if the splash screen shows up, then you are able to DI just a little bit more because it's basically the game warning you, hey, you're not able to. You might be able to recover out of this. You might be able to DI, but you need to do that now. So it really is kind of the closest thing you're going to get to a quick time event in a platform fighter, and it just didn't pop up that time. I guess maybe that's the case with it being at 190, or what have you. But I don't know. Like at the same time, makes you wonder perhaps if that screen pops up, is there the possibility as we go to game number 2 again on small battlefield, and a quick start here from Akakikusu, piling it on already with 75% and no signs of slowing down. We are 15 seconds into this thing.
Fui finally found his chance to start up the offensive, going for these edge guards. He's so scary whenever he's able to send Akikutsu off the ledge, but it's just the spacing tools, man, that Akikutsu has in his belt. It's one of Yoshi's least favorite matchups is any sword character. You give that sword character magic as well. What's the poor little dinosaur supposed to do?
I mean, pray. That's imagine
Yeah,
like. I mean, look. There's always something, right? But that is, and who said you couldn't? So we'll just have to see if the gods of victory are listening. But the down smash to cover. I mean, I love that as a coverage option for Yoshi. It's relatively quick, all things considered, but it can be punished. So I don't really know if it can work, but you need a very particular spacing for it. And air dodge through the up air. Akakikusu has done this enough. I don't think he wants to do a whole lot more.
There's that buffed up throw like we were talking about in the last game. It would take the first stock here, and although Fui has been putting up such an amazing offensive show for us here today, the fact that Akikutsu hasn't lost his stock yet just shows how well Akikutsu is able to play in the defensive side of things. Fui is tossing this man around in juggles, in combos, in frame traps, in tech situations, in everything, and yet still his stock stands. He's just able to wiggle his shield around, doesn't want to get any of these shield pokes happening, already has Fui at 80%, goes for a down smash, but just not with the right spacing.
A hero perhaps deceptively heavy. Makes sense, you got all that equipment on you, maybe you've got some spells, or... Hey, spells, what, you got to carry them around in scrolls. They don't really just they don't just appear out of thin air.
No.
I mean, that menu does, but that's neither here nor there. Thwack just kind of floating precariously, and all of a sudden Akakikusu bringing it to 3-1. Fui needs an answer and needs one fast, because this is getting away from him.
Yeah, Akikutsu is very firmly in the driver's seat of this second game. The depending factor of whether he's able to have access to all these moves being the MP, he's just never seemed to have lower than 25. Just always able to get this resource back, whether it's choosing the right times to go in for these jabs. You can see it. He's picking his options to get some grabs, get some jabs. Now I have a lot of magic, and now I'm going to use it. Get my buff, sit back, throw some fire. The resource management on the side of Akikutsu in this second game has been exceptional.
We're seeing now Akakikusu could potentially get the beautiful use of the zoom to get back to the stage. And now, I mean, look, this is what you want to do, right? You want to avoid the buttons. You want to avoid the quick stuff. You want to be able to demoralize Fui, and maybe because this is where you turn into a counterpuncher. Make him make mistakes. Make the impatience get to him. And okay, you lost that stock. Fui does have a little bit of a foothold on this one, but how quickly can this go away at the behest of Akakikusu?
Lost my stock, but got all my MP back, so who's really in the worst position right now? Fui trying to start up another one of these juggles, but the defensive plays of Akikutsu are showing off here. The frame trap finally working for Fui, though. Missing that forward air, but finding another one, almost getting him off the top, calling out an air dodge. It's an absolute slam fest from Yoshi here in the air. Has him at 125 off what feels like was one string.
Yeah, this is This is how you do it if you are to do so. All of a sudden, it doesn't feel like a foregone conclusion. Obviously, you don't want to be in triple digits, but Yoshi, rather livable. This is a very large dinosaur,
Mhm.
non-avian theropod, as one of my friends decided to classify him. That is, I don't know. Look, guys into bird facts. What can I say?
It makes
Uh,
sense. I feel it. It makes sense.
yeah, I mean, the guy does fly. Let's be real. Like he's flapping
Mhm.
something and he's flying. So it works out.
Ah!
Oh, but the shield gets broken. Good luck living that. It looked like the crit for good measure, and we are going to get a 2-0 advantage for Akakikusu. And goodness gracious, I mean, it's hard to pronounce, but goodness gracious, Artrix, it's even harder to counter.
Honestly, this he's the best hero player in the business for a reason. All the way over here in the East, Akakikusu. Going to be going into this game 3, has a very nice advantage, but we were able to see there right at the end that Fui has what it takes to take games within this set. It felt like Akikutsu had a complete hold on that second match, was almost about to 3-stock the guy, but then we just saw one stock from Fui, where every single read on Akikutsu's defensive choice was correct. He was able to get his juggles working, he got his frame traps working, he got 125 off the bat, took the stock, and then took it to the last. So as long as we can continue to read these rolls, to read these air dodges, spot dodges, he's able to get the first hit, but he's just struggling to get the second. It's always calling out the defensive option, but then the follow-up is just missing, and I don't know where it is. It's missing. We gotta find it.
And the burden lies on Fui and Fui alone. However, finding just a little bit of something, perhaps a slight foothold on this set. But what's it going to take? How much more do you need to do if you are
Oh,
Fui?
Jesus.
Especially when you can swing your sword and do that. Akakikusu, goodness me, at 143, doing the most. And gotta say, this is looking pretty convincing, all things considered, especially when you go off of what happened in that game number 2, right? It really seemed like
Mhm.
Fui was looking for just something, anything to grab a hold of. And on Akakikusu, just giving him nothing.
It's really up to Fui in these situations to be able to find that stock. And Akikutsu's not making it easy for him. He's keeping his distance. He's playing it safe. He knows how much worth there is to hold on to that stock. Not able to hold on from that parry right at the ledge, the get up attack getting countered. Fui finally able to bring this one back to even. So we have the chance here to see a very different game from that last one. It's neck and neck.
Looking now for an opportunity. Fui sitting there and able to jump in. Again, we were talking about this. Maybe you have the ability to move through the air and advance that way, but I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know how much you can do upon descent. It has to be the sort of thing that you can't telegraph. That means maybe relying on Nair a little bit, but what can you do with ascending aerials if you are Yoshi? I don't really know if that's going to be, maybe it's a
Mm,
little unconventional because it's just not your game plan, right? But you have to have some sort of pursuing hitbox in order to get in on Hero. And you have the ability to do that because Hero's normals, again, not exactly the fastest in the world. It's
of
still,
course.
oh,
Oof. That's a fast
still,
fireball, though. Didn't see that
oh,
one
yeah.
coming. I'm not sure he was ready.
Yeah, no, throwing the fastball when you're expecting the changeup. You gotta love it. But sweet, Fui, a swing and a miss on that one. And now all of a sudden, down to the final strike here. Akakikusu looking for a 3-0 victory, on the cusp of getting it, sitting at 99 with 2 stocks in hand.
It's your last chance in Winterside Life, and you continue to put yourself in all the right positions. You continually see from Fui that he's following these defensive options. It's the timing. The timing that's just slightly off. And I'm not entirely sure why. You could see him calling out the rolls. You could see him calling out the get-up options. It's just not connecting like he wants to. Not even that final up smash there. What would feel almost guaranteed as an up smash out of shield there is not going to work. Able to shield this fireball though, so we will be sitting pretty at 60%. Zoom not allowing us to get the edge guard like we want. It was not looking good until that up air came out. It's last stock on both. Let's see if we can keep this set going.
And that is a big old maybe at this point. I'm not really sure if perhaps Fui has the resources. Ooh. However, you have the juggle. If you are swinging, you are you're living. But at 76%, You still have to make this happen. You've got 3 games to go, even if or 2 games to go, even if you do. Akakikusu maybe got caught swinging just a little bit,
Oh my
maybe a
god.
little overconfident, and
You
Fui
could see
is
Fui place
tapped
the
in.
nair right where the zoom was. Oh my lord.
I respect it. I can't help but respect it. And
Mm.
now, Fui looking for the opportunity. Trying to swing, but is this perhaps the chance? Oh, good grab there by Fui. And not able
Oh,
to take it just yet. The zoom, and oh, there you go. Akakikusu is going to take it by a score of 3-0. And Fui, we
mm.
were talking about being able to manage that second jump, and maybe got a little bit greedy, got lost in the sauce, and yeah, that's what happens when you drown your chicken in curry. It just gets lost.
It's we
That
could
happened
say
to
that
me tonight.
Akikutsu was the one to happen one time. I'm sorry for your loss. It's
It happens. I'll get over it.
we could say in this situation, and it is Akikutsu who takes the game 3-0, but at the end of the day, he was kind of handed it from that last stock. I mean, Fui was playing exceptionally right up until that last moment, but you could probably feel the competitive experience coming out in that final moment where Akikutsu was keeping calm, keeping safe, playing as if he still had a whole set ahead of him. You know, he didn't want to lose right there. You know that he wanted to stay in winners. However, Fui threw it all in that final edge guard, which it's really just a situation of if Hero finds that zoom, there's really not that much you can do. You just have to feel comfortable on either catching him out of the air or getting a ledge trap in a later situation. It's being able to choose when to swing. And I feel like that was the main thing that Fui was missing. He was always swinging. My man was swinging nonstop, and I love him for it. But if you're going to be making it onto winners finals, you need a bit more composure. So Akikusu is going to be the one doing that here today.
A little bit more temperament, but that can come over time. In the meantime, up his game. Moving on.